Welcome. Today, we're going to explore some of the most valuable Susan B. Anthony dollar coins in U.S. history. In this video, we'll look at the top 3 rare $1 Susan B. Anthony coins, including era coins, special silver strikes, and unique color or tone variations that have become major highlights in the coin collector and investor community. These rare treasures are not just pieces of American history. They're also some of the most valuable coins collectors are hunting for today. So, if you're a coin enthusiast or someone who appreciates the beauty and significance of U.S. currency, this video is for you. Let's get started with the first coin. Money bag. The 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar. The silver-toned titan that carried the voice of a nation and the power to change your fortune overnight. The year 1979 was a time of transformation in the United States. A nation pulsing with new energy, bold ideas, and social evolution. Amid that atmosphere of change, a single coin emerged from the presses of the Philadelphia Mint, a coin that would go on to carve its own chapter in history. The 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar. Though its metallic shine might appear ordinary to an untrained eye, the truth is that this coin represents one of the most daring experiments in modern American coinage. A piece that fuses social progress, rarity, and hidden wealth into a symbol of destiny. The 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar is not just a dollar, it's a monument cast in metal, a tribute to equality, and for a few lucky owners, a potential key to unimaginable riches. To understand the power and mystique of this coin, one must travel back to the 1970s, a decade of revolution in thought and identity. America had witnessed the women's rights movement rise with unstoppable force, demanding not just recognition but representation. And from this powerful tide of change emerged the idea to honor Susan B. Anthony, a pioneer who dedicated her life to women's suffrage and equality. Her face, determined and noble, was chosen to grace a U.S. dollar coin, making her the first real woman, not an allegorical figure like Liberty, to appear on circulating American currency. That decision alone made the 1979 P dollar an icon even before the first strike of the die. The Philadelphia Mint, carrying the legacy of centuries, became the birthplace of this revolutionary coin. Marked with a proud P mint mark, each piece symbolized progress, innovation, and the strength of American ideals. The coin's composition was not pure silver, yet its silvery glow captured the essence of value and strength. It was made of copper nickel clad over a pure copper core, giving it a distinctive hue that many mistaken for silver, a color that carried the promise of wealth. But among these coins, a few exceptional strikes, proof errors, and anomalies turned ordinary pieces into priceless collectibles. These are the 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollars that today sit at the top of the numismatic world, shining like stars in a sea of history. When the coin first entered circulation, the U.S. Mint and the Treasury had high hopes. It was designed to replace the bulky Eisenhower dollar, aiming for a more convenient size, closer to a quarter, easier to carry, and practical for daily use. But ironically, that similarity became its greatest flaw. Many people confused the new dollar for a quarter, leading to frustration and rejection in daily transactions. For most, it was a failure. But for collectors and visionaries, it was the birth of something extraordinary. A coin whose short circulation life would later make it rare, unique, and valuable beyond comprehension. The portrait of Susan B. Anthony, sculpted by Frank Gasparo, is more than an image. It's a statement of courage and defiance. Her gaze is forward, unflinching, as if she is watching the future unfold. Around her, the word liberty shines proudly, while the phrase "In God we trust" reinforces the eternal faith of a nation. On the reverse side, a magnificent eagle lands on the moon, clutching an olive branch, a design inspired by the Apollo 11 mission, symbolizing peace and human achievement. This blend of history, innovation, and national pride gives the 1979 P dollar an aura unmatched by any coin of its era. Yet, hidden among millions of these coins are the rarities that drive collectors into a frenzy. The most legendary among them are the 1979 P wide rim near-date varieties. Coins where the rim is thicker, and the date sits closer to the edge. These subtle differences were born of die variations during the minting process, and they now separate common coins from treasures worth thousands of dollars. It is within these details that fortune sleeps, waiting for the eyes sharp enough to recognize it. Imagine the scene: a pile of old coins, forgotten in a drawer for decades, their surfaces dulled by time. Then suddenly, one glints differently. The 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar, wide-rimmed, perfectly preserved, a relic from an era of change. Its metallic whisper seems to say, "Don't let me go." Because that very coin, if graded perfectly by experts, could be worth not just hundreds or thousands, but potentially a life-changing fortune. Stories abound of ordinary people discovering these rare variants in old collections or pocket change, their lives transformed overnight by a coin they once overlooked. The true value of the 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar lies not just in rarity or composition but in what it represents. It stands as the bridge between America's traditional coinage and the modern age, a time when the face of a woman replaced the idealized image of liberty. It broke boundaries, not only in metal but in meaning. It carries the voice of Susan herself, echoing through time. Men their rights and nothing more, women their rights and nothing less. Each coin is a silent continuation of that legacy, a reminder of how courage can be immortalized in the smallest of things. Collectors today hunt this coin with passion because they know that history has a strange way of rewarding the patient and the observant. Coins from the Philadelphia Mint are particularly fascinating because, unlike those from Denver or San Francisco, their journey through circulation often left unique signs of wear or minting quirks. A flawless 1979 P. dollar in uncirculated condition, with a mirror-like finish and crisp details, commands immense respect and astonishing prices in the modern coin market. And when you combine that with a rare variety or proof error, its value multiplies beyond imagination. The mystique of the 1979 P. dollar is also fueled by its misunderstood beginning. It was supposed to be America's next great currency revolution, yet it vanished from circulation within a few short years. But like many things once underestimated, it rose again in the world of collectors, this time as a prize, a treasure, a relic of progress that refused to fade. Its scarcity and pristine condition and its historical significance made it one of the most valuable modern U.S. coins, a coin capable of altering fates. Some call it the silver dollar that wasn't. But in truth, it carries more value than silver ever could. It holds the weight of symbolism, the representation of a nation stepping into equality, of a woman's face shining among presidents and patriots. That alone gives it a spiritual richness that transcends metal and money. And for those who believe in destiny, finding one of these coins in perfect state feels like touching history itself, a blessing from time, a spark of fortune. If you happen to own a 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar, especially one with the wide rim or other rare varieties, you may be holding the very coin that could rewrite your story. Its worth, when authenticated and preserved, can be staggering. But beyond price, its true treasure lies in the message it carries, of struggle, triumph, and timeless strength. The story of this coin reminds us that greatness often hides in plain sight. A simple dollar can embody the fight for justice, the leap to the moon, and the pulse of an evolving nation. The 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar is that rare combination of art, activism, and accident, a miracle of minting born in a moment of cultural change. Next up, the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar, the small silver-colored giant that holds the power to rewrite your destiny. In the vast, glittering universe of American coinage, few coins have a story as fierce, misunderstood, and powerful as the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar. To many, it was just a small, silvery token that vanished quickly from the pockets of the people. But to the few who understand its deeper history, this coin is nothing short of legendary. A bold experiment, a symbol of equality, and today, a sleeping treasure with the power to change one's fortune overnight. This was not just another coin minted for commerce. It was a moment in American history struck in metal, reflecting the courage of a woman who dared to challenge the impossible. The Susan B. Anthony dollar emerged at the crossroads of progress and modernity. The year was 1979, and America was ready for something new, a revolution in both design and symbolism. The U.S. Mint had not released a new dollar coin for circulation since the Eisenhower dollar, and as the country stepped into a new technological age, it sought a coin that represented efficiency, equality, and the American spirit of advancement. The chosen figure was none other than Susan Brownell Anthony, the fierce and tireless warrior for women's rights. Her presence on the coin shattered centuries of tradition. For the first time, a real woman, not a goddess, not a symbolic figure, but a living legend of the past, was chosen to represent the United States on its circulating currency. The Denver Mint, known by its D Mint mark, became one of the proud producers of this historic coin. Each 1979, D. Susan B. Anthony dollar carried the spirit of the Rocky Mountains and the precision of American craftsmanship. Though the coin's surface was composed of copper-nickel-clad layers, its silvery brilliance made it gleam like a piece of pure silver, a deceptive beauty that added to its mystique. Beneath that metallic shimmer lay a message of defiance and hope. Equality stamped into every curve, liberty carved into every edge. The obverse of the coin bears Anthony's resolute profile. Sharp, determined, unyielding. You can almost feel her spirit rising from the surface, eyes fixed forward, as if watching the march of progress she once ignited. Surrounding her image are 13 stars, representing the original colonies, the word liberty standing proudly above, and the phrase "In God we trust" beside her, a declaration of faith in both divine justice and human dignity. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, features the powerful image of an eagle landing on the moon, clutching an olive branch, a tribute to the Apollo 11 mission, symbolizing peace achieved through exploration and courage. When the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar was released, it was hailed as a symbol of modern America. Yet, like many trailblazers, it faced misunderstanding. Its size, nearly identical to a quarter, caused confusion among the public. People mixed it with smaller change, vending machines rejected it, and before long, the coin that was supposed to mark progress became an outcast of circulation. But destiny is never without irony. That very rejection, that early dismissal, is what turned this coin into a future treasure. Many of these coins were set aside, preserved, and forgotten, until collectors began to realize their hidden worth. The 1979 D became more than a coin. It became a time capsule. Each piece that survived in pristine, uncirculated condition holds the glint of a forgotten era, a snapshot of America on the cusp of transformation. And within the world of numismatics, it's the smallest details that turn metal into miracles. A coin with perfect luster, razor-sharp edges, or rare minting anomalies, such as double dies, weak strikes, or planchet errors, can command breathtaking sums in today's collector's market. These are the coins that can make headlines, that can turn a humble dollar into a life-changing fortune. For the 1979 D, its rarity doesn't come from scarcity alone but from its condition and character. The Denver Mint produced millions, but most entered circulation, gathering scratches and wear that dulled their shine. The few that escaped into safekeeping, untouched and radiant as the day they were struck, became the hidden gems of modern coinage. These untouched survivors, especially those graded MS-67 or higher, are worth thousands today, with certain varieties fetching astronomical prices depending on strike quality, luster, and minting errors. What makes this coin truly magical is its story, the journey from rejection to reverence. In 1979, many dismissed the Susan B. Anthony dollar as unnecessary. But today, it stands as a symbol of resilience, much like the woman whose face it bears. Anthony herself fought decades for women's suffrage, enduring ridicule and arrest, yet she never surrendered. The coin mirrors that spirit. Misunderstood at first, but destined to be appreciated by future generations. Holding a 1979 D dollar is like holding a whisper of her strength, her vision, and her fight for justice. Its design, too, carries layers of symbolism that make it more than currency. The eagle landing on the moon isn't just a tribute to space exploration. It's an embodiment of humanity's greatest achievement, a metaphor for rising above limits. That lunar landing was a declaration that no dream is too distant, no frontier unreachable. Paired with Susan B. Anthony's portrait, it sends a timeless message that courage and conviction can conquer even the impossible. And what of its silver-like allure? Though composed primarily of copper and nickel, the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar gleams with a luster that deceives even experienced eyes. Its metallic glow gives it a regal presence, a fitting reflection of the noble purpose behind its creation. In today's world of collecting, appearance and preservation mean everything. A brilliant uncirculated example of this coin can dazzle under light, commanding not only admiration but immense monetary value. Collectors today hunt for these coins with an intensity that borders on devotion. Every glimmering edge, every subtle mint mark variation, every preserved detail adds layers of worth. And while millions were made, only a fraction remain in perfect condition. Those flawless few that can turn an ordinary collection into a treasure chest. It's these rare survivors that can elevate a collector to billionaire status overnight, the kind of miracle that coin legends are built upon. The 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar also represents a turning point in the history of U.S. coinage. It marked the end of an era for large, cumbersome dollar coins and the beginning of a new chapter in American innovation. Its design paved the way for future small-size dollars, including the Golden Sacagawea and Presidential Series. Without the lessons learned from the Anthony dollar, its challenges, its missteps, its symbolism, those later coins would not exist. In this way, the 1979 D stands as the foundation of a new age in American currency. Beyond its metal and market value, the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar carries emotional and historical weight. It celebrates not only one woman's legacy but also the evolution of America itself, a nation striving toward fairness, equality, and recognition for all. Each coin is a miniature monument, honoring the relentless pursuit of justice and guard it well, for its shine is not just metallic. It's the reflection of a legacy that refuses to fade, a coin whose story is as priceless as the fortune it promises. Next up, the 1980 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar, the forgotten silver star that holds the power to change your fortune overnight. In the grand tapestry of American coinage, few pieces tell a story as complex, emotional, and misunderstood as the 1980 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar. To the untrained eye, it may look like just another small silvery coin, ordinary, simple, even unremarkable. But hidden beneath its metallic skin lies a saga of vision, innovation, and destiny. It was a coin that carried not just the face of a historical icon, but the weight of a revolution in equality, a piece that continues to shine with rare brilliance for those who understand its true power. Today, collectors call it a sleeper treasure, a coin that could, quite literally, transform an ordinary pocket find into an unimaginable fortune overnight. The 1980 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar was born from the spirit of change that defined late 20th century America. It was a continuation of the groundbreaking 1979 series, the first U.S. coin ever to bear the likeness of a real woman. Susan Brownell Anthony, the fearless champion of women's rights. By 1980, the coin had already gained historical momentum. But the Philadelphia Mint's second-year production gave birth to one of the most intriguing and collectible coins of modern times. The P mint mark, subtly placed above the date, carries the legacy of one of the oldest mints in the nation, a silent symbol of quality and precision that makes every 1980 P dollar a piece of living American history. When these coins were struck, they were not made of pure silver, yet their silvery sheen captured the imagination of millions. Composed of copper-nickel layers over a solid copper core, they radiated a light that rivaled the shine of silver itself, a gleam that symbolized progress, resilience, and equality. It's ironic how a coin not meant to be precious in metal became precious in meaning. The silver-like glow of the 1980 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar became a metaphor for the struggle and brilliance of the woman it honored, a woman who faced endless resistance yet never lost her shine. The story of this coin is deeply tied to the evolving identity of the United States. When it entered circulation, America was stepping into a new era. Technology was advancing, gender equality was becoming a national dialogue, and the concept of progress was taking a new form. The 1980 P dollar was more than a coin. It was a message. Its small size symbolized modern convenience, while its design spoke of heritage and honor. On one side, Susan B. Anthony's determined profile, sculpted by Frank Gasparo, stared boldly into the future. On the other, an eagle landing on the moon, a nod to the Apollo 11 mission, symbolized human triumph and unity under one flag. But history has a curious way of rewarding what society overlooks. When the Susan B. Anthony dollar entered everyday use, it was not warmly received. Many mistook it for a quarter due to its size and color, and it quickly vanished from circulation, buried in drawers, forgotten in change jars, and left asleep for decades. Yet this very rejection is what makes the 1980 P dollar so fascinating and valuable today. The fewer coins that remained untouched and uncirculated, the rarer the pristine survivors became. Coins that now sit as silent treasures in the hands of lucky collectors or hidden among the billions of ordinary coins waiting to be rediscovered. What gives the 1980p Susan B. Anthony dollar its breathtaking potential isn't just its historical symbolism, it's the extraordinary world of minting variations and errors that occurred during its production. A handful of these coins bear subtle differences in strike, spacing, or die where that turn them from simple currency into priceless rarities. Sharp-eyed collectors know that a perfectly struck 1980p with clean rims, frosted details, and brilliant luster can command astonishing sums in today's market. And when a minting flaw, like a double die, weak strike, or off-center error, is added to the mix, the value soars to levels that seem almost mythical. Think about it. A small coin minted over 4 decades ago, once dismissed as unpopular, now holds the power to change a life. There are documented cases where coins once sold for $1 have been valued in the tens of thousands, simply because of their flawless preservation or unique minting error. The 1980p is one such treasure that reminds us how fate often hides in the most ordinary of places. A coin jar, an old purse, a forgotten drawer. You may think it's just a piece of change, but it might just be a key to financial transformation. The beauty of this coin lies also in its symbolism. Susan B. Anthony was a woman who believed in persistence, in never yielding even when the world seemed unmoved. The coin that bears her image mirrors that same resilience. It was dismissed, ignored, and even ridiculed when it first appeared, but today it stands as a powerful collectible, a silent rebellion against time itself. To hold a 1980p Susan B. Anthony dollar is to hold a piece of that unyielding spirit, the living echo of a woman who demanded change and got it, even if the world took decades to realize it. Collectors often speak of the 1980p as a transition coin, a bridge between eras. It connects the optimism of the 1970s with the ambition of the 1980s, a period when America was reimagining itself through innovation, technology, and equality. And within that transformation, this coin served as both symbol and witness. Each strike from the Philadelphia Mint was a declaration that the fight for progress was not finished. It merely took new forms, in new generations, in new expressions. The artistry of the coin cannot be ignored either. Gasparo's design, so precise and commanding, captures Anthony's strength without losing her humanity. Her expression is resolute, almost prophetic. The 13 stars encircling her represent the original colonies, tying her courage back to the nation's founding principles of liberty and justice. On the reverse, the eagle lands upon the moon's surface, clutching an olive branch, a perfect metaphor for peace through achievement. The moon craters, subtle yet visible, symbolize humanity's endless reach, just as Anthony's work symbolized the boundless potential of equality. Over the decades, this coin's reputation has grown beyond numismatics. It has become a symbol of endurance, proof that even when the world underestimates you, value and greatness can never truly be buried. A pristine 1980p Susan B. Anthony dollar, especially one graded as MS 67 or higher, can sell for thousands today. And for those rare coins with unique errors or proof-like finishes, the value skyrockets into the realm of dreams. In a market where collectors crave both beauty and history, this coin delivers both in abundance. The whispers of fortune that surround the 1980p Susan B. Anthony dollar are not mere exaggerations. It is a coin that teaches a deeper lesson. That wealth can come in the form of wisdom, history, and recognition. The fortune isn't only in its price tag, it's in its story, in the courage it immortalizes, and in the destiny it still holds for those who find it. So if you ever come across this unassuming dollar, take a closer look. Examine its rim, its luster, its mint mark, its silent shine. It might not just be a coin, it might be a forgotten miracle. Because the 1980p Susan B. Anthony dollar carries more than a woman's face. It carries a legacy of transformation, resilience, and empowerment. It has the heart of a movement and the gleam of destiny. Hold it next up.